Well, it's just after 10 p.m, 2200 hours, and I'm here at Clipson Old Quarter, and that's quite a nice sky. Should be a decent temperature while I'm walking around here, and of course I am here looking for glowworms. It's been a fortnight already since I came up and did a proper survey. I believe it was June the 29th, and counts were just into double figures, but still poor. This, only a matter of a few years ago, used to be one of the top sites in the country, and annually produced totals of between 400 and over 800 glowworm females. Those days are long gone, and the glowworm is threatened here. So the idea is to walk up through this section, which you're looking up through now. This is section O, and then I go along sections L and M, come back through both those sections, up sections K and J, and then down through the grass strip of D, C, B and A. I've no idea what sort of count we're going to get. So, time to make a move. Well, it's a lovely evening, perfect evening actually for glowworms, and I've no idea where we are in the season. It's about a fortnight since I last came up here to do a proper survey of sections O, L, M, K, J, D, C, B and A, and indeed in that order, and I'll put a map in to show you that route for those of you new to this channel and new to this type of video. But it's such a funny season, no idea where we are here. This used to be one of the best sites in the UK, Clipson Old Quarter, but in the last few years, since the growth of scrub and bracken and bramble in the grass strip, those numbers have declined and plummeted. And plummeted so much that quite often it's now just single figures in the survey route that I've mentioned. Years ago, Dennis and I used to cover a much larger area, but then it became too difficult and impossible for us to do. So it's a smaller area now, and I've really got no idea how many glowworms I'm going to see tonight. There was a good count from a site nearby yesterday from Sherwood Heath, a count of 25 females, so we may well be in for a bit of a surprise. So it's out with the torch and on with the walk. Well, I was originally going to start this particular clip by saying that nightjars seem to have stopped chirring. They're telling me that they haven't. There's a pair been just flying low. But one's in flight now with the wing claps, the male. Somewhere it'll just gone right. Oh, there's two there, look. You may all catch a glimpse of. This has to be one of the best spots to see nightjar. There's one male keeps cheering, there's another wing flapping, it might come across. There it was. You just got a brief view there, and they're only at 15-20 feet off the ground. Often they come closer than that. Brilliant views you get here. There's another one just going across from left to right, but no glowworms in section O. So we continue along here in section L, so far up to the end of section M, and then come back through on ourselves and see what we get. Certainly get nightjars, if nothing else. And that's the flight call, the contact call. Magical, aren't they? Well, we have a female. This is more or less just at the end of section M. And it's possible second, actually, just about 10 yards further down that I need to check on when I go back. There's certainly something there, whether it could be a hunting larva. But this one seems to be up a grass stem. The back end is facing us. The female will be clinging to that stem and then raising the underside of the abdomen to face upwards. Forms a J or an L-like shape, which is glowing well. So at least we've got one. Nothing in section O and nothing in section L on the first pass through, but this very nice female, very showy, just a few feet off the path here in section M. What they tend to do now, because there's a large amount of bracken growth, is the females on hatching come out from underneath the bracken to the edge of the bracken where the sky opens up more, and then they can glow to any passing male that happens to be coming by. So brilliant. One female. Well, this is a female at the bottom of section K and glowing really well. Well defined glowing plates. The two little plates right at the very end of the abdomen showing well on this particular female. And she's glowing in a similar position to the one that we've just been looking at. She's about 5-6 inches up a stem and has just gone and swung the abdomen round 180 degrees from where she was. Beautiful. They're such magical insects. This isn't the brightest, and there are occasionally females that glow extremely dim. The glowing plates either just don't function properly, or the fluid can't get into those plates, and they turn up occasionally in years of good numbers. So we'll leave this female to continue to try and attract a mate and carry on with the survey. Oh, doing quite well. In fact, there's another one opposite the other side of the path to where I am now. I'm just entering the top sort of quarter of section J, and we're on a total of 9 at the moment. There were 2 in section K, and following the one we had earlier in section M, and since, well, this is the 6th in section J. What's worrying is that there's been no males, and this one's glowing in an awkward position. It's actually glowing under a dandelion leaf, but this is number 9, so we're doing well. Be interesting to see what the grass strip provides, at least those parts that I can access, because the bracken has become impassable now in certain sections. So got another 100 yards of section J to go, and we're on a total of 9 glowworms for the survey so far. Well, here's a nice view of female number 10 for this evening. In fact, I'm only a few yards up from the 9th one that I've just been filming, but this one's pretty much on the floor, so I'm able to get directly above this one. You can see the glowing plates really well here. 2 rows of the teeth-like sections. They always look like the incisors to me, like front teeth. And then right at the bottom, at the end of the abdomen, 2 smaller, tiny plates. This one's glowing really well. Beautifully bright. Lovely. Look at that. That's foreplay in glowworm language, or to a male glowworm. At least it would be if a male was here. Amazing creatures. So that's female number 10. We continue up section J. Well, I just started coming down through section D, the first part of the 4 grass strip sections here at Clipsnell Quarter, and in the first bit of section D that I can access, which isn't covered by a thick and tall growth of bracken, immediately got 3 females in relative close proximity within a few yards of each other. So I'm going to continue on down. The total now is 14, so we could be approaching 20 by the time I get through the rest of the grass strip. So that's the plan. We'll continue on down here where I can and see what we end up with. Well, as I stand here lighting up the bottom end of Clipsnell Quarter, I'm very pleased with the 22 glowworms found this evening. I didn't think that total would be possible this evening, but it could well be that here in Nottinghamshire at least we're heading towards something of a peak, what with 2 other 20 plus counts occurring in the county in the last few days. But there are some worrying developments regarding glowworms, not just in Nottinghamshire but in the UK, and that a company are now farming glowworms, and they're using those glowworms that are farmed for recolonisation. Now that all may sound well and good, but it really isn't, and the main reason for that is that the glowworms are being harvested and taken out of the wild. It's known who's doing it, and it's known who the company is well known who's supplying glowworms to various conservation organisations, it seems. My own personal view is that glowworms shouldn't be taken out of the wild. If you take glowworms from one part of the country and plant them in another, it's very unlikely to work, at least in the long term. More work needs to be done on translocating glowworms, and it's not just a case of taking a load of females, getting a load of eggs and larvae subsequently off those females, and then selling them to various organisations. I'm not going to name the organisations here, but they are conservation organisations who are keen to re-establish glowworms. It may well be all be being done with the best intentions, but when someone is getting profit from those potential reintroductions, that's where the line is drawn. And taking large numbers of larvae out of the wild and female glowworms out of the wild shouldn't be done, and I certainly don't condone it. You can find out more about the work that's being done to take our glowworms, already rare, especially here in Nottinghamshire, and it makes me reluctant to continue to publish counts from known sites in Nottinghamshire. It's something that I've got to think about, but it's a shame that it's come to this. So not only are glowworms still under pressure from site management and from the mercies and extremes of the weather, but now we've got people taking them deliberately and knowingly out of the wild too. Just helps to increase pressure further on a beetle that is already struggling and has been struggling for years. It's just that nobody listened to the few of us that were saying that it was happening.